All right, welcome everybody to another Gen Invest podcast. This is where we bring you inspiring, motivating, and empowering content to take your life to the next level. Now, obviously, anyone who's obviously been subscribed, listening to these videos, a lot of this is very much around money management, but there's 5 key things that we talk about. Okay, first, you gotta get a mindset around money. Okay, second thing you gotta do is you gotta learn how to manage your money. Third thing you've gotta do is learn how to earn more money. Fourth thing is how to invest your money. Then number 5 is how you build generational wealth. So every week we're gonna chop and change through different things. Okay, today I'm going to talk about mindset, the mindset around money. Okay, because I think that's the key thing. Loads of people talk about the strategies and what you gotta do, but mindset is so important. Remember what we say, Tony Robbins says this, success is 20% strategy, 80% psychology. A lot of times the things that are stopping you is your mindset. So I want to talk to you about, why a lot of you are probably not earning the money, okay, and financially where you want to be. So that's what we're going to talk about today is mindset. So step number 1. So what we're going to talk about today, for anyone watching on the screens on YouTube, okay, on the screen, what we're going to talk about is what's your value? Do you understand your financial value? And the reason I say that, why that's important, you will never earn more than you actually believe. Now, what do I mean by that? If you believe that you're at 20 grand, you will earn 20 grand. If you believe that you're a 50K baller, you will earn 50K. If you think that you're like the man at 100K, okay, and that's your value, you will go on to earn 100K. So we're gonna talk about a little bit about the sciences around that, okay, and what I did to take my life from, if you imagine, I came out of school with no qualifications. Okay, I passed French, which I cheated on. I don't like to admit that, but it's the truth. And then I had a gift in art. So I came out with really 1 GCSE, art. But I was still able to earn, okay, go into the 70, 80, 90,000. So how did I do that? Okay, I had to change my mindset. And that's what I'm hoping that by the end of this short little podcast, okay, or the short video, if you're watching on YouTube, this will help you to do. So let's get into this. Key thing, as we always say, the mind is super powerful. Okay, you have to understand that, is that the mind is super powerful. And this is the biggest tool, the biggest asset that you've got. Okay, you can watch all the videos, you can read all the books, okay, and all these things are good, but first you have to understand that the most powerful thing that you've got is your mind. Now, if for anybody who's looking at finances, you should have read this book, okay? A book by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. It's probably one of the biggest sellers of all time in terms of personal development. But there was a key quote that Napoleon Hill says in his book that I think is just truly amazing. And he says this: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, all right, so you have to have those 2 words together, conceive and believe, the mind can also achieve. So let's read that again. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Now here's a question I want to throw out there, all right? What do you believe about your earning potential? What do you believe how much you should be earning? Now I'm going to pause for a moment because it's easy for me to gloss over this section. But this is the time I want you to have a moment of reflection. I don't know if you're driving in the car and you're listening to this podcast. I don't know if you're sitting at home or in the gym or something like that. Okay, even if you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to give yourself 10 seconds to think, actually, what's my value? How much am I worth? Am I worth 100 grand? 50 grand? 10 grand? £8 an hour? £40 an hour? Whatever it may be, however you want to, put that in an hourly rate, a yearly rate, whatever it is. What do you believe is your value? Because I tell you now, you are not earning any more than what you believe your value is. That's just the truth. You are not earning any more than what you believe your value is. Now, and what I want you to do is I want you to write down that number, all right? Write down that number for me. I don't care whatever it is. Okay, no one else is gonna see. So get a pen and a piece of paper. In this moment, write down what do you believe your value is. And then what I want you to do, once you put that number down in big letters, I want you to write down why. Why do you believe that's your value? Okay. Then the other thing I want you to write is, do you believe it should be more? Do you believe that truly in your gut, in this moment of reflection, actually I deserve to be earning more? Now, if you've done that, let's go to the next step. Right. one of the things I want you to do when I say if you believe that you should be earning more, we're gonna do a thing called a paradigm shift. Now, I remember reading the word paradigm. I was like, paradigm sounds like a fancy word. What does that mean? But paradigm basically is just a typical example of a pattern or something that you believe or model that you follow. Okay, so if you've got your piece of paper and you said, I'm earning, I believe I should be earning 30,000. Your paradigm is that's what I'm worth. It's your way of thinking. But somehow we've got to break that paradigm. If you want to earn more, if you believe that you're worth more, we have to change the paradigm, okay, of what you're thinking right now. Because the only thing that's stopping you, we live in a world of abundance, right? Like footballers are earning like ridiculous amounts of money. I remember Gareth Bale, who plays for Real Madrid, they were talking about him going to China. And I think it was something like ridiculous, like in the millions or something like that per month. That is a paradigm shift. Everyone's like, no way, you can't play a footballer. Do you know why everybody was scrutinizing that contract? Because in their paradigm, in their pattern of thinking, it wasn't right for a footballer to earn that much money. But they would have said that about Trevor Francis. When Trevor Francis first signed a £1 million contract, he was the first footballer to ever earn £1 million. Now, guess what? What happens when the paradigm is changed, more people start going, hey, actually, I want £1 million. If he's getting £1 million, I deserve £1 million. I'm better than him. Their paradigm changed. I'll give you another example. Roger Bannister, I think it's Bannister, if I got it just wrong, but the guy, they said you couldn't run a 4-minute mile, right? Paradigm said for years you can't run a 4-minute mile, right? When he broke the mile, what happened? Everybody said, wow, paradigm shift, mind shift, I can run a 4-minute mile. Now, it happened recently in the marathon. I forgot the gentleman's name, so forgive me, I wasn't even going to mention this, but there was an African runner, okay, and they said that you couldn't run a marathon under this time. Guess what he's done? He went and broke it recently in the last 4 weeks. Okay, go check him out, Google him out. So what happens is there was a paradigm that it's impossible to break that. But when one man does it, everybody then says it's possible. So if you want to change how much you earn, you're going to have to change your paradigm. Remember that word, paradigm. Now, when we're talking about the paradigm, I want you just to write down, you put down what you're worth, how much you're earning, why you're earning that. I want you to put down what your heart really desires. What's that figure that your heart really desires? Okay, just write it down for me. That's all I want you to do, right? Once you've done that, okay, I want to show you how someone changed my paradigm. A guy called Neil, I will never forget this guy. A Greek guy, massive, like he was just huge, right? And he would come into my health club. I used to work at the Hyatt Regency Hotel and I was running the health club down there. And I remember him coming in and I was handing him a towel and I must have been earning like something like 23 grand or something like that. I don't know, something like that. Okay, and he came in and he said to me, Denzel, I don't know where this came from. I don't know where this conversation started. I think it was like a heavenly moment. So he may be an angel. When I die, he might see him as an angel. And he said to me, you need to earn your age. I was like, what? Like no one had ever said that to me before. He says, you must earn your age. So if you're YouTube and you're watching this on the screen, you'll see the screen. But basically on the right-hand side, he says, if you're 24, you must earn 24,000. If you're 30, you must earn 30,000. So I put on there 35. But if you're 35, you got to earn 35,000. You're 40, 40,000. Now guess what? In that moment, that changed my paradigm. I was always looking to get incremental changes. If I get like a 3% pay rise, you know, like we do in the NHS, and I'm not knocking the NHS, so please don't hate me if you've seen this video, but I see you guys all fighting over, can I get an extra £100 and I want a pay rise? Okay, that's your paradigm, right? But actually maybe the paradigm needs to be changed. Like, and even using this example, maybe this could be something that you could think about and saying, actually, if I'm 35 years old today, I want to earn 35,000. If I'm 45, I want to earn 45,000. Now that's what I use to change my paradigm. And the reason I say that, what happened was like instantly my finances started to change because I was like, whoa, okay, I'm gonna be 30 soon, but I'm nowhere near 30. So what do I need to, I had to change up my game. I had to change up the way I think and what I did. Okay, so this helped me change my paradigm. Now something may change your paradigm. I'm not too sure what this is, but this could be a great start for for anybody who's looking to earn more, which is obviously the third point that we always talk about, is get the money mindset, okay? Learn to manage your money, but then learn how to earn more money. But if you want to earn more money, it starts with changing your paradigm, changing the way you think and what you believe your value is. So let's go on to the next slide. So go back to what we said. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Now we're going to go into a little bit of science here. Again, we're going to use the word RAS. RAS. I'm going to say something else for a Yardie accent, but I won't do that, okay, for my white followers on here. Okay, you won't understand the joke. But RAS basically means reticular activating system. A little bit of science here, okay? Now, what does that mean? Our minds are taking in data all the time. All the time, like, the color of the room, the temperature of the room, the smell of the room, what that person's wearing. All the time, there's so much data happening, how our body feels. And the mind understands if we were to actually focus on all the data coming at us at any one time, we would be overwhelmed. So God in his infinite wisdom, okay, understood that we had to get to a place where we filter information to what's important for that moment. So what happens is at the end of obviously our brain, our nerve endings in the brain, there are these filters, and these filters help us to filter out information that's not important. We still keep it, we still store it, but what it does, it filters it out. Now, what does this really mean in everyday life? Okay, let me break this down. For anyone watching on YouTube, okay, you'll see a screen full of different numbers, and I've got 10 grand on there, 50K on there, 100 grand, and different numbers like that, and there's even a million. Okay, you got all different numbers on there. Now, that whole screen is super busy, and what the mind will do is go, okay, what's important, what's important? And it will only draw out the real numbers that are important to you. Okay, let me break it down further. There's a million cars on the road, but have you ever bought a car, like you say, okay, do you know what, man, I really fancy buying, I'm gonna buy an Audi. Okay, I'm gonna buy an Audi A3. Guess what happens? As soon as you make your mind up, you're gonna buy an Audi A3, everywhere there are Audi A3s. You're like, what? I didn't realize there were so many Audi A3s. The Audi A3s have always been there, but it wasn't important to you, so your mind filtered it out. Your mind will only show you things that it knows to be important to you at that time. So how do we relate this to earning money, right? If you don't believe that you're worth 100 grand a year, your mind will filter out opportunities, okay, that are around you every single day, all right, that would get you to 100 grand a year. Because the mind says, well, hold on, this guy's only earning 20. So I'm only going to show him opportunities or situations that generate 20,000. Because no point in overwhelming him or her with information, okay, that is not linked to what they truly believe is their value. So if you're on 10 grand a year, guess what? You will look for 10 grand a year opportunities, and the mind will filter everything out. So that's what I'm saying to you, is that the mind is incredibly important if you're going to go to the next level of your earning potential. So what do I mean? The guy who believes he's 20,000 is not going onto the job boards, let's say, and looking for jobs paying 100 grand, is he? Why? Because he's filtered it out. It's a filter system. If you go onto, job site or anything like that, there are filters, and it will filter out by salary. Because if you don't believe you're worth 100 grand, you're going to look for the number that you believe is your worth. Now, here's the crazy thing. How do you justify someone earning 100 grand? How do you justify someone earning £1 million? Do you know the BT director for IT? No, sorry, apologies, for finance. He does all the books, okay? So he's the main guy at top of the BT for finance. You know, he earns £1 million a year. £1 million a year. Now, what does he do in 40, 50 hours a week, all right, that would justify him earning, okay, because he does the same books as the guy who runs 100 grand a year business, right? Same books, profit and loss, okay, balance sheet, there's no different, right? Okay, sales come in, okay, expenses go out, and there's a balance. There is no difference. So how do you justify that? Why? Because that guy says, I'm worth $1 million. And if you want me, and you want my pedigree, and you want my experience, my value to this company is worth $1 million. That's why he's getting paid $1 million. The guy who does exactly the same job but only getting 30,000, he's getting that. Why? Because he believes that's the level of value that he brings. So here's the thing, right? It's a very short podcast today, right? If you want to go to the next level, change your thinking. It's easy for you to Google how to become rich, okay? Google how to make more money, right? And all those things. Google how do I change my mindset? Seriously. After this podcast, after this watching this video, say to yourself, let me go and Google how do I change my mindset that I start to see my true value, whatever your true value is. Now, I don't know if you're meant to earn $1 million a year, okay? I don't know if it's meant to be 100,000, but I remember Jim Rohn saying this. If you have the capacity to earn 30,000, earn 30,000. If you had the capacity to earn 100,000, earn 100,000. If you had the capacity to become a multimillionaire, become a multimillionaire. Do not, a tree doesn't stop reaching for its goals. It doesn't go, oh, that's enough. It keeps growing to the very top of its potential. So I'm asking you, have you stunted your growth? Or are you at the fullness of your potential? If you're at the fullness of your potential, well done to you. We salute you right now. But I guarantee a large majority of you are not. And it's not because the opportunities are not there. It's because you told yourself that my value is this. So your mind goes, okay, I don't want to depress this guy. So let me get rid of all the opportunities where this guy or this person or this woman could go out there and earn extra money. So listen, God bless you. I really hope that this really blesses you. As I say, we'll have more people coming back on the show, talking about property investment and all these things. But I think it's really important that we do some personal development around mindset. So listen, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, okay, to the channel, because you will get one of these videos every single week. And if you watch them and implement it, I'm telling you now, you will go to the next level. I truly believe that. But also comment, let me know if this has actually been any good. Has this been something that has made you think that maybe I need to change my paradigm? But also listen, what's more important to me is that we share this type of content to the world. All right. So if you know there's someone that maybe you're like, nah, I'm a top gun, I'm earning the money I need to earn. What about that, your friend? What about your family member? What about your next door neighbor? Could they do with just listening to this podcast or watching this YouTube video? So God bless you. As we always say, okay, with the Gen Hope Group, God's gift to us is life. What we do with that life is our gift back to God. I couldn't even get my words out there. I give back to God. So God bless you, and see you next week for another Gen Invest podcast. God bless you. Bye-bye. Done.